So I'm getting loads of people asking me with my trying to improve speed, am I more accurate or am I losing accuracy, and will it make me a better player? And to be honest with you, I don't actually know, because of lockdowns and at the moment the course is closed because it's just raining here in the UK. I actually haven't had enough time to go out and test it. So I'm going to test it as good as I can in here. Obviously this night might not equate to what happens outside, but it's the best I can do, bearing in mind it is pouring down outside. Right, I'm going to hit 12 drives to kick me off, where all I'm trying to do is hit that fairway. This isn't distance. I'm going to hit it well, but just trying to find fairway. Stroke in play. Oh, I'm over the bunker. So this swing for me feels like I'm hitting a little gentle fade. I'm certainly not pushing in the ground hard at all. Backswing quite restricted in what my feelings of turn. And I'm just trying to turning out of my left hip. I'm literally like staying in this hip and just rotating out. I'm not trying to jump or anything. And I can see my speeds are way down. Now when Matt looks at the edit of this, like I say, I'm not really gonna try and count how many are hitting or not. I'm just like each hole playing it as it comes, imagining there's 12 holes of this. There's gonna be fairway hit, and then in play is the thing I really am interested in. Like, how many do I have a second shot at the hole? That's the big question. Line ball, go on. Because in play is going to be everything. Like, counting fairways has its benefits, but it also doesn't really tell you how you're performing. I can see my numbers up here, and this is very much my numbers of over a year ago, or about a year ago. And to be fair, it feels quite easy to hit fairway like this. I do feel like I'm going to hit the ball in play a lot. Like, it feels ridiculously easy. What I like about this situation, it is really the situation. 520 yards, like if I can hit a 300-yard drive, 220 is going to be so much better than 260, 270, bearing in mind it's a sideways on green. And look at the amount of trees there, so you then got the other kind of idea that I just don't want to be chipping out the trees as well. Like, this isn't one that maybe you can go at. So this is pushing it definitely more in the I'm just going to hit fairway ideas in my head, even though I know that probably isn't true. Little jump on that one was interesting, but it wasn't faster. Get over. Oh yeah, just. So like 257 carries. This is very much my old numbers, 150 ball speeds. Whereas the first one I've hit the wrong shape. I drew it. So we are now behind a tree. Honestly, didn't feel like a draw that, but it blatantly was. Like, that's a cheating shot, that. Just like, I'm not gonna miss fairway like that, it feels like. Yawn. Off the bottom of the club. Might tangle with the bunker, but no, it stayed left of it. Right, shot 12, and then we're gonna spray some around the park. Again, little out the bottom. Such a classic drive of mine, that old school drive. Little cutty thing, that'd be one hand off in play and everyone would be like, what's he moaning at? So 255 average, averaging 245 to the pin. Most of them were in play, but again, Matt will count that up as we go. 149, nearly 150 ball speed, so it's considerably different, 2-1 spin. Like, these are my old numbers. 265 my longest, 260, 261s. Like, you take away some of the miss hits here, and this is a 262 average. Right, here we go. Now I'm gonna smash it. In the comments, which one is gonna be more in play or not? Down there, before I start smashing them. Come on. You commented? Thank you. Right. Let's get smashing. So instantly I feel a little bit like I don't know what's going to happen. This is what we compete against, isn't it? I honestly don't know where this one's going to go. Toey hook, big block, right down the middle. Any of those three. Where the first 12, the reliability stroke calmness that it breeds into me stood on the tee is very different to this. Yes, it's a bit of a miss hit, look. dipping low, a bit left, hit the tree, come out. Whoa, in play, I would argue. So 110 head, definitely quicker 5-mile-an-hour jumps. It's just the strike wasn't there, which is why the direction went. I am going to aim a bit more down the right, I think. Oh, that's a rip. That's only 110 club, unfortunately. But so now look how much further up we are. Like, that's the goal, isn't it? If you can do that a lot, is the question. Doing 1 or 2 of them and 7 of them in the rubbish, probably you're going to go back to the other one on this hole, aren't you? So again, look at the ball speed. There's jumped up to 160, I can see. Oh, at the bottom, unfortunately. And that's what I'm finding. You are going to see a variation of strikes, which on a hole like this is going to ask big questions. That is not in play. Faster ball speed, 161. Ain't that good? I need to aim right, and definitely the pattern is to draw. Oh, oh, get in play. Yes, that's in play. In the trees. All right, let's get some control of the over shape. There we go. Just stay left. Oh, look how much difference that is in distance, and that is well in play. So obviously we've got more shots to hit. If I was to guess right now, I'm going to say it's probably going to even out. I reckon you're going to find, on average, it's probably the same end score for the amount that go in the trees that don't, but then ones that don't, you're only hitting like, you know, a 200-yard shot in. But there's other things which we'll talk about as we go, because situation has to play its part. That'll work. Just a little left. Hit that fairway. I mean, we're carrying, yeah, look at that. We're carrying the bunker by loads now. And that was a slight toe. Ah, there's the toe again, stop turning. That's what I find, the miss hits now. Stay in play. Yeah, I think that's in play, yeah it is, look, I can just see the green there. The miss hits that are turning, gearing, are more violent because they're going a further distance. So I do feel a little bit like if I don't strike it, it could turn anywhere. Where my old swing, when I think I struck one that went drawy when I was trying to fade it, and it really shocked me. So, my emotions inside definitely going to have to be handled very differently to how I've grown up playing. You know, I've grown up playing, not wanting to play golf if I don't know where the ball goes. I'd rather not play, I'd go and practice. I remember making cuts in pro tournaments but not hitting the shape I wanted to hit and saying to people I'd rather not be here. I'd rather be practicing and getting ready for the next tournament because I'm just gonna, you know, be the arse end of a cup maker on this tournament kind of stuff. That's gonna have to change. That's a safer miss it was out the bottom. So it isn't gearing, it's bottom centre and done pretty good for a miss it. Yeah. Oh, I've buttoned that. That's what you're hoping to get, some more of those. 112 club, it's nearly a line ball. Oh, it's not the longest because it's only it's a bit high on the spin. It was slightly out the bottom, maybe not as much of a button. No, it was off the top actually. That surprised me, that spin that much. All right, 2 more to go. And I honestly couldn't call it. It's gonna stay straight, is it? Just. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's huge. That's 316 total. That was a low spin knuckleball. Right. Shot 24. 12 and 12. Let's give this the beans. See what comes out. Ah, yes, please. 112 club, not my fastest still. I can get that to 115 when I'm warm and really going at it, but that's a 300 yarder. Let's see what I make of those numbers first. So dispersion's interesting, isn't it? Look, you do get these wild ones where if we flip to these ones, so your average dispersion, interesting, look, is exactly the same. If you take all though, I mean, you definitely feel like the reds are more dispersed, but they're not, look at them. I would say there's less clustered in the middle probably, but the outsides of both is almost identical. That's amazing. Massive difference in the carry, 278, so we're nearly 300 to 276. 10-mile-an-hour jump in ball speed, spin stays relatively constant, launch angle slightly changes. So we're 245 averaging into the green. This is me really fairway finding. And we're 231 averaging to the pin on me trying to smash it. This is a 3-wood running on. This is a 20-degree hybrid pitching on. So the difference there is huge, with the potential of having a 218, a 219 in there, a 206. You know, this is like a 6-iron for me now. We're going at these speeds. If we maintain at these speeds, everything's 3-wood, 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 3-wood not reaching, 3-wood not reaching, 3-wood, 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 3-wood not reaching. Every shot on this batch can reach. That one's obviously subject to him being in play or not. Let's see what Matt thinks of this data. How have I done, Matthew? Should I be Hulk smashing or should I be Parfield tapping?
It's super interesting, isn't it? Like, well, first of all, you hit 11 with your pat swing, and then you hit 10 with your boomer swing.
So 11 in play and 10 in play, is that what we're saying?
Yeah, only one difference between the two. And I've only classed it as in play because you've got second shots and that's all good, isn't it? But
that's all you want, isn't it?
Yeah, you just want a second shot, don't you? And I think it's super interesting that, like, the approach is in like 20 yards shorter with the Hulk smashes. And I think over time, over a season, that's surely only going to equate to a lower score on average.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like to me. And the other thing for me on that test, I felt, is like that hole was the extreme. Like
tight.
So it isn't, that's not the norm. So if we're looking at the averages of X amount of shots, that's not the average hole that you'll play. So you're actually looking at the averages on the extreme side of the average of the hole. I mean, it was just an alleyway of trees with a slight dog leg, which again, then you're running across the fairway a little bit.
Yeah.
I picked it that way to give myself the harder tests in effect.
Yeah.
It was interesting, the emotions I felt that, though. You hear in the video probably me, like, I literally don't know where it's going to go. And that's something I've traded on for so long, just knowing that it will go.
I think that you can change that, though. Like, the more you do that test and the more you realize that it's only one difference, and then the next test, it might be the other way around. You'll start to soon think, like, you can do it and it's as easy as your normal pat. But
I agree with that. I agree.
And I just think it's such a weapon that you didn't have. You say you're winning one up down the 18th and it's a tight, narrow hole and the guy's not as good as you. You just go to your pat and get it in play and just put him under pressure. Great. If it's a par 5 where you need an eagle to make the cut or something and you pound it, great. Like, it's that weapon you didn't have before and now you've got an extra weapon in your bag. So I just see that as such a positive.
Yeah, it's almost like when you teach golfers, certainly newer golfers, and you teach them how to hit a flop shot.
Yeah.
You know, you've done a few playing lessons with them and they're chipping everything with a 56 degree because they don't own a 60 and it just pops over the bunker and it's nice, but they're not getting it like within 5 foot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you say, let's try this shot. And you give them a lob shot and their eyes open and they think, cool, I always miss that green to the right and never have a shot. And now I can bob it up. In theory, really, it's no different to teaching a player another shot, is it? I mean,
no.
I'm teaching myself a 20-yard drive if I choose to employ it or not, and when might be the other questions that I'll have to use. Like, because that guy now or girl shouldn't just be using that flop shot every hole because their running shot goes closer. It's a situation based thing. So I think that's a really good point. So I need to smash it then.
Well, you just use it when you need it.
You're just saying this because you want to play and watch and giggle and point the camera at me looking for my ball that I've been doing for you and Rory for the last 6-7 years, and you just want to do that now. None of this is any truth. You literally are just thinking, yeah, Mark, you carry on, bruh.
Because it's quite an interesting test though as well for like anyone that doesn't have a whack in them. Going through your process and the emotions will just make them improve as well. I think like it's something that every amateur golfer needs to have. So yeah, it's great, and it's good to watch it. Like, I'm enjoying seeing you post the odd 170 or 170, not the odd one. It is one.
It is the odd one. I'm gonna get another one, and I'm gonna do it on 1 coffees rather than 2 next time.
And that's just through a few lockdowns. So like, it can be done quite simply, can't it? Like, a bit of effort, and you've gained 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, it's literally 282 is turning into my new average at the minute. 280 and 282. It's quite funny. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, smash it is. When we get to play next, this is going to be a fun few vlogs coming, isn't it? Smashed. Here I come.
Will you get past me? We'll see, eh?
Only when you toey duck hook it. Otherwise, no.